welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you my birth story, and I'm just going to jump right into the video, and at the end of the video I actually do have a giveaway, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so I'm going to start with the day of April 28th of this year. I had an appointment at the maternal fetal medicine clinic at 8 a.m. And a little bit of background to that, I was actually going to maternal fetal medicine about 2 to 3 times a week, probably since I was about 29 weeks or so, maybe even more than that. But they just wanted to monitor Gracelyn and just keep a good eye on her. So I did go very often. But that appointment, I was exactly 34 weeks. And I went into my appointment and I had to go alone because of the pandemic and my husband not being allowed to go in, unfortunately. But I went in with a smile on my face because I was there so often that I would tell myself it's going to be a good day, like she's going to stay in there and cook a bit longer, because the longer she's in there, the healthier she is, at least so I thought, but I will get into that later. I went in, the ultrasound tech took me back, did the ultrasound, and as soon as she started the ultrasound, and doing the heartbeat, or the blood flow, not the heartbeat, the blood flow of the umbilical cord, I could 100% right there know, like I knew that something was off. It didn't look right, so I asked her, I said, like, is everything okay? She doesn't look like, this doesn't look normal to what I was used to. And she said, yeah, I'm not sure what she's doing today, but she's gonna take a few more pictures and then go get the doctor. And kind of at that point I knew that something was wrong, but I just relaxed and was hoping for the best. The doctor did come in then, and he said, like, Lorin, this is it, like, you're having her today, she's ready to come out, she is not having it in there anymore. And he said, like, just walk down to labor and delivery right now and check in because she's ready. And so I leave the clinic, and it's just across the hall, the labor and delivery ward, I guess you could say, the labor and delivery ward. And so I checked in, I called my husband and I said, like, it's time, she's ready to come out, so today's the day, like, call your mom and all that because we need somebody to watch our dogs. So he comes up, we're sitting there, we waited for a while, and then one of the nurses took me back to the triage room and hooked me up to some monitors to monitor her heartbeat and contractions if I was having any. I actually was having contractions, but I couldn't feel them. They were just showing up on the monitor, so I'm not too sure, but they said I was having them. Maybe about an hour or two later, they take me back to a room and get me all settled in. The nurse comes to talk to me, asks me a bunch of questions, like if I want to deliver naturally or a C-section, or like what my birth plan was. And to be honest, I didn't have a birth plan, because I was so high risk. They honestly told me that I could go, like, I could have her at any time. They didn't really give me a good range. So the only thing I wanted to do was have her naturally. Like, that was the only thing that I was set for, basically. I didn't want to have a C-section. I didn't want to have to go through that major surgery or all of that. So I told her I wanted to have just a natural birth, and yeah, and she said, okay, great. And because Gracelyn was IUGR, which is intrauterine growth restriction, I think that's what it is, where she was a lot smaller than she was supposed to be. They said sometimes babies are okay with a natural birth, or sometimes it's just too stressful for them. So what they did was they hooked me back up to this monitor on my belly just to monitor Gracelyn and watch her heart rate and check my blood pressure like every 10 minutes, it seemed like. And so I'm trying to think. So we were sitting there in the room. I had the neonatologist, I believe I don't know if I saw the cardiologist then while I was in the labor and delivery room, but I did definitely saw the neonatologist. She came in, introduced herself and all of that because Gracelyn was going to the NICU. It was already kind of said, like we knew she was going straight to the NICU. So when I was in that room, they gave me, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right, but they gave me the misoprostol. It's to soften my cervix because my cervix was not softened at all. And they did check me and I was 1 centimeter dilated. And I think I was -3 on like where the baby is, like so -3 and so on to like 3, and I was like, it was like the highest she is, I don't know, like -3, I don't know. But they gave me that medicine to soften my cervix, and they did a stress test on Gracie just to see if she would be able to handle the stress of a natural delivery. And so I was hooked up to that for a while, and they gave me Pitocin, I believe, just to do the stress test, and Gracelyn did so well. She didn't have any heart dips, like heart rate dips, which is a sign that she's too stressed out. I think she did have like maybe like 1 or 2 within an hour or 30 minutes, which is not bad. So they thought that I'd be perfectly fine to have her naturally, but they were just gonna keep a really close eye on her. So after they give you that medicine to soften your cervix, you have to wait 4 hours until they can give you the Pitocin to induce you, basically. I think I made it into maybe 2 hours of the medicine to soften my cervix because I was contracting myself. And by that point, my husband went home to check on the dogs, which is 2 hours away from this hospital. And he made sure with the nurse that everything was gonna be okay while he was gone. Like, I had such a long road until we had her. Like, he was okay to go home and come right back. And so he left and I was by myself. I did start feeling the contractions. They were pretty bad, but I didn't get any higher than like 3 centimeters, I think. So they were like, the contractions were not unbearable. They were not bad at all, actually, but I don't know. I've never had contractions before because this was my first baby, and I was ready for it to hurt really bad. But it wasn't too bad. And maybe about 2 or 3 hours into that medicine to soften my cervix, and the doctor, it was the night doctor because by this time it was probably like 7, maybe 8 o'clock at night. She came in, mind you, my husband is at home, and says, all right, that was your chance, like, you have to have a C-section now, right now, like, we're gonna take you in right now to get your C-section because Gracelyn's just not handling it anymore. She's too stressed out, her heart rate keeps dipping, and they don't want to take any more chances. And I start freaking out because my husband is 2 hours away, and I call him and he does not answer me, so I have to continue calling him. I think on the second call he answered, and I said, like, you need to come back to the hospital now because they want to wheel me into the operating room because Gracelyn's not handling it anymore. So he freaks out. He gets there. I don't know how he got there so fast, but he did. And as soon as he got there, well, actually, on his way there, they were gowning me up. I had to take my jewelry off, and they put like the thing on my head. I can't think. The cover on my head, and they made me wear a mask because of the pandemic, basically, was the only reason I had to wear a mask the entire time. But they got me all ready, put the like high socks on, to protect my like circulation, and I sat there and I waited for a little bit until my husband flew into the room, and he's like, all right, I'm here, we can go. And so I told the doctor that he was there, and they got him all gowned up, put the like the net thing on his head. That's what some net thing that you use when you go into the OR. But they got him all gowned up and everything like that. He had his phone, and they wheeled me out right away. They took Gage, my husband, into another room while I got the spinal block. So they took me into the OR, and because I worked in a hospital and I know what an OR looks like, I wasn't scared of that. But like me being on the table, I don't know how I did it. But so I sat on the edge of the table. You have to like sit with your back bowed, like leaning as far forward as you can. And I kid you not, I was sitting on that table for 30 minutes while this anesthesiologist messed it up 4 different times. On the 5th try, he got it. But I sat there in so much pain, and I had a nurse, the nurse that was taking care of me in the other room. I had her in front of me, and I was like squeezing her so hard because of how bad it hurt. And she was just saying to me, she's like, as soon as it's over, you get to see her, like, it'll all be worth it and everything like that. And so I was sitting there, and maybe 30 minutes goes by until he gets it in my back. And when I tell you he did it 5 times, he did, because I had 5 needle marks in my back. So I would say that was the worst experience I've ever had. It was my first surgery ever, so I don't know. But I was scared to death to have a C-section, only because, I don't know, they're cutting into my belly, and my mom had a C-section, and she said that, like, you feel everything, but it just doesn't hurt. It's just pressure. And I couldn't, like, get that in my head as to, like, how it didn't hurt, but, like, I still felt it. So I was scared to death. But once he got the spinal block in me, he told me to like lay over and lay on my back on the table. And I did that, and by that point, like by the time he told me to lay down, I could not feel my legs. Like I could barely lift them up. And so I laid down, and they started like gowning me up. They put the thing across my face so like I couldn't see, or like across, I don't know, the cover, so I couldn't see anything, basically, so I couldn't see them doing the surgery. And they would like poke me with, I don't know if it was like a needle or something, but like poke my legs, make sure I didn't feel anything, and they poked my belly, and I could still feel it. Like I could feel the needle that they're touching me with. And I told them, like, you can't start surgery until I don't feel anything, because, like, I don't want to feel it, obviously. And so they gave me more medicine. I don't really know what it is, but they gave me more medicine to feel it less. And then I got nauseous while laying on the table. And I think, so I'm gonna, like, this is the table. I think it was like this, my head up here, whenever I first laid down, because I remember them like turning it, My husband said I was completely flat, but I felt like I was like going down, like my head was really far down. So I don't know why I felt like that, but I got really nauseous right after they gave me the medicine, and I remember very distinctly, like I just kept looking up at the anesthesiologist and I'm like, I'm gonna get sick, like I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick, like I need to throw up. And I had my arms out here, I was like hanging onto something. And then my husband came and he sat at my head. He couldn't see anything either. And I said that I can still feel it. And the doctor that was performing the C-section, she's like, well, we already started. Can you feel that? And I'm like, oh, no. So they were already started. They had already started the C-section. They cut me open. It is the weirdest feeling, because whenever people tell you, like, you can feel it, but it doesn't hurt, it just is pressure. That is exactly how it is, but, like, I don't understand it, because it doesn't seem like it would be like that, I guess. But maybe 10 minutes goes by, and I'm just holding my husband's hand, and all of a sudden I hear Gracie cry, and whoa. And when I was in maternal fetal medicine, when I was in maternal fetal medicine, they prepared us for like the worst. Because she only had one lung, they thought, okay, I didn't think I was gonna get upset. They told us that they thought she was gonna have to be intubated right away, so we wouldn't hear her cry or anything like that. That they were just gonna wheel her away. But she was crying, and as soon as I first heard her cry, I started bawling because I didn't think it was gonna happen. Okay. And then as soon as they took her to the, like the incubator type thing that they put them in, or the isolette, my bad. Then they put her in the isolette, and my husband actually left to go be with her. And I was in the operating room for, I would say, a good 45 minutes after that, where they were fixing me, doing everything they had to do. And once they were finished, they asked how I felt and everything like that. They transferred me onto another bed and took me to the recovery room. And I think they did blood pressure checks, temperature checks, and I think they checked something else too. They did it every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, and then every 30 minutes. And I was in there for, I think, 2 hours. And my husband came in and he showed me the pictures of her. I actually have, so this book that I have is actually Gracie's book. Gracelyn's godmother or godparents made this for us after she passed. But I just want to, oh goodness, I wanted to show you. There are pictures of my husband and I. That's my husband. And then this was the very first picture I got to see of Gracie. And I bawled because of how adorable she was. And I remember that really well. I just started bawling because she was perfect. She looked exactly like my husband. But after I was in the recovery room for probably 2 hours, they wheeled me down to postpartum, and I met my nurse. By this time it was already like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, because I had my baby girl at 11:28 p.m. April 28th, 2020. So they wheeled me down to the postpartum unit, and I was there. I wasn't able to move because of the spinal block until probably about 8 a.m. that next morning. So, and I wasn't able to see Gracie at all during that time. Like, I haven't seen her at all, other than in pictures. And at 8 o'clock, the nurse came in and she's like, all right, it's time to get up, like, to walk around. And I knew that as soon as I could, like, walk myself, I would be able to see Gracie. So I tried my hardest to kind of recover, if that even makes sense. Like, I know I can't rush recovery, but like enough to be able to get myself into a wheelchair, basically. But the nurse stood me up, and I don't know how anybody does it, because you're like a superwoman after a C-section. It's crazy because it's major surgery and you're walking within hours. And I did it, and we finally went down and saw Gracie. She was born, like I said, at 11:28 p.m. April 28th, 2020, and she weighed 2 pounds and 7 ounces. And she was 14.5 inches long. She was a tiny little girl, but she was adorable, and she's so strong. Alright guys, that is all for my birth story. I hope you enjoyed. If you would like to share your birth stories down in the comments, I would love to hear them, if you're comfortable sharing, of course. And yeah, so now I'm gonna jump in and tell you about the giveaway I'm doing. I am doing a giveaway for, I want to say, an expectant mom. Whether it's for a boy or a girl, it is gender neutral. I did make it gender neutral. But I can't thank you guys enough for all the love and support you've given me with losing our baby girl. Sorry, I'm petting Gabby. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys were amazing, are amazing. All of the love and support. And showing us just how much you loved Gracelyn. Okay. Okay, but I wanted to do a giveaway for an expectant mama because I'm just so thankful for all of you guys, and I want to give to you. So I am going to show you everything that is going to be in the giveaway. It is gonna go for a week, and I'm gonna announce the winner August 21st. So it starts today, and I will show you everything that's included. The first thing is a Hello World onesie, and it's Rae Dunn, and it's 3 to 6 months. And this is all one winner, so I'm only choosing one winner, but they get all of this. And then I have Shade Mountain Natural Baby Moisturizing Cream, and it's all organic, natural, and vegan. Let's see if it'll show you. There. And it's pretty big size. So I have that. I have a Chew Crew teether, and it is a cactus. I thought that was adorable. I have these baby mittens, and it's for 0 to 6 months. I don't know, I think there's 3 or 4 pairs in there. I have this lightweight canopy cover, and this is unisex as well. Just looks like that. And then for the mama, I have a Pura Vida bracelet, and I'm not going to show you what it is because it's going to be a surprise, but it is like an anklet or a bracelet, whichever you'd like to wear it as. And then to add on to that, I'm going to put in a $25 Visa gift card for anything of your choice. And for the rules, all you have to do is follow my Instagram, and I'm going to link link it down below. So follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my channel, and put down in the comments something you're thankful for. And I will also have that down in the comments. And yeah. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I would love to hear your stories if you would like to share. And good luck on the giveaway. I will be announcing it. I'm not sure if I'm going to announce it on my Instagram or my YouTube, but whoever wins will hear from me. So, alright guys.